Comcast.
Now escape, go. Just go, cry freedom.
Starting your animated film off with a tongue-in-cheek reference to a film about the South African apartheid.
Lenny, what are you doing?
What? I was just, picking you some flowers.
Sharkterfuge.
Ugh, that song gives me the creeps.
What do you mean? It's our theme song.
The movie Jaws existing in this movie's universe isn't a stretch, but thinking that Frankie and Lenny would have access to actually watch the movie is. And yeah, we're gonna find out all these fish have the same things humans have, but underwater, but since all that's bullshit as well, my sin stands. Apparently lots of fish are assholes and do eat other fish, so I guess the sin is not naming this restaurant Apple King. How would all these signs exist underwater? How would they even be designed underwater? What fish has the hands to write, paint, or draw? How would the printing equipment work underwater? How does a fish drink Coke? And your answer for all these questions could be, it's an animated film, and then I'll kindly ask you to f*** off, and then gladly welcome you to the channel for the first time. Hope you stay a while, and meanwhile, I will add 10 cents for all this underwater advertising nonsense.
Are they gone? Are they gone?
If they're not, Katie Current almost got you killed for the sole purpose of setting up this fish reveal. I'm not sure why that seal needed to kill that starfish, or why both these tiles say Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, if it had been Lawrence Fishburne, it would make sense. He totally deserves 2 stars, but Lawrence Fishburne, he can go eat carp for all I care.
Slight congestion here on the Inner Reef 95.
Production team thought a 4-way intersection with a traffic light was the best way to draw a comparison to Interstate 95. And I can assure such things do not exist on that particular highway. Well, at least not on any of the parts that matter.
There's an overturned mackerel. Get out those shell phones and call into the boss, cause you'll be late.
Movie downplays a likely health issue because it doesn't want to interrupt the sunny disposition of this traffic report. Also, why are we even pretending they are fish if they can't even do basic fish things like swimming up, over, and around other fish?
Don't you yell at me, my mother is your mother, okay?
God forbid this movie not racially stereotype its cabfish that don't seem to be able to actually transport other fish. Movie confirms what I have long suspected, that eels are the most sexually exciting aquatic creatures. These lobsters aren't carrying any passengers, and even if I buy that they need to operate in the same manner as the subway, for some reason, there is still no way a rail system is the best designed to facilitate the movement of a creature with claws and legs. I suppose the joke is that he's trying to serve raw fish in the ocean, and the movie that also named a fast food chain Fish King seems to think this is a dumb idea all of a sudden. How exactly are the prices listed next to the sushi rolls being paid? Do the fish have cash? Where do they keep it?
Is there no hero among us?
Fishtopia has decided that the best response to the ongoing threat of an apex predator is to rely on the emergence of a hero, instead of establishing a standing army.
You so broke, yo baloney had no first name.
Writers thought that explaining this awareness of pork-based human food products was less important than coding these spray-can-wielding fish kids to a particular stereotype.
Hey, Oscar, look who came to visit.
The Flash? Because that's the only individual who could have spray-painted all this in the time Oscar swam down to have a couple words with Crazy Joe. As if whales don't have enough problems, there also seems to be a lobby in Hollywood pushing for them to be treated as transportation in animated films. So I'm looking at you, Surf's Up. Since toothed whales lack an olfactory lobe, they probably can't smell anyway. But even if this was a baleen whale, you'd probably want to put the freshener closer to the blowhole so they could smell it and not taste it.
I'm already punched in.
That's wild, because there wasn't even a card here a second ago.
Bottled water.
You'd think this would get a sin for being another reference to our world, but the pitch for this idea probably sounded just as absurd when the first human said it. So instead, I'm sinning the movie for the possibility of even one child thinking fish are to blame for any of the trash in the ocean. All fish tanks are essentially prisons, but it's weirder when the fish in your universe can communicate with you through spoken language.
It's a fish-eat-fish world.
Then why did you feed these piranhas a purple pellet instead of, I don't know, a fish? We wouldn't dare play the music, but after Luca moves the needle, Baby Got Back begins playing, and I'm sure all those 4-year-old Sir Mix-a-Lot fans were loving life.
From now on, yous work for Frankie and Lenny. Capiche?
Lenny? Frankie, I understand, but Lenny? You can't be serious.
Man, what a get to have Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese cracking wise with each other in an animated film. I bet all those 4-year-old Goodfellas fans were loving life.
Tell you what's what. And what?
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 This what's on for all the who, when, where, and how.
Wait, Pop. Lenny had an accident.
Wait, are you telling me the fish have actual bathrooms down here? I mean, I don't want to see that, but I kind of do. But I don't, but I kind of do. To the awkward arousal of parents everywhere, a movie shamelessly inserts itself into the Titanic cinematic universe.
60-foot slime-covered tongue.
If that tongue is 60 feet, then there is 0% chance that bucket is big enough to hold all the slime.
That's all right. Look, I'm gonna get you some coupons. We're gonna get you a free hot wax and all that.
What might be better is actually removing the soap from around the eye so it doesn't go back in.
Just give me some time. That's all I'm asking. I'm begging you, Sykes, please.
So Hank, boss says we gotta come up with the next animated movie for the company, and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out what the kids want these days. Not sure, Vinny, but can I borrow $1,000? I owe my loan shark. That's it, Hank. You nailed it. Kids love movies about loan sharks. But what if we made the loan shark an actual shark? Brilliant, Vinny. So, about that 1,000.
Bring my 5,000 clams to the racetrack tomorrow or else.
This 5,000 clams will not actually be 5,000 clams. Hanging clothes out to dry underwater.
Oh, I
Take
couldn't.
it. It'll get you the money you need from Mr. Sykes.
I don't believe there's a world where you take this pearl from your best friend and are considered a friend in any way whatsoever.
This handing over the business is for you. It's for both of yous.
Now we've got a crime boss wants to make sure his sons are up to the task of handling the business after he passes on cliche. Seriously, who is this movie for? Because it's not for kids.
You're a good person.
Personhood is generally reserved for humans, so I'd say he's a shark, son. I was forced to suspend disbelief on these seahorses galloping like real horses. That was until writers included this line.
Who in the halibut trips underwater? And by the way, on what?
And admitted that none of this makes any sense. It's not so much that this animated movie has a violent death scene as it is that the movie immediately treats it as a joke.
I'm so cold.
That's just because we're cold-blooded.
But you're not. There are 4 types of sharks that are warm-blooded, and the great white is one of those 4.
Oscar, did you kill that shark?
Movie wants us to believe that Ernie and Bernie believe that Oscar killed a shark, and that is a bullshit foundation to build your movie on.
Oscar, Katie Current.
So in this world, does Katie Couric just not exist, or did Katie Couric create her on-air name after watching the Today Show? Or do both Katie Couric and Katie Couric coincidentally exist within the same universe? Regardless of the answer, I now hate everything and everyone.
50-50. You happy?
No. You happy?
No. Deal.
Everyone comes away from this satisfied, but not completely overjoyed with the terms of the deal. This is actually an incredibly enlightened negotiation, and I did not expect that from this movie. Funeral scene does not contain black umbrellas. And if it was a funeral with black umbrellas cliche, would we still sin it? Yes! Yes, we would!
I got some news about the guy who took out Frankie.
I've seen and sinned a lot of animated films and other type of kid films, and I have to say, without a doubt, that is the most oddly placed fart joke I've ever seen. I almost want to remove a sin for the ballsiness of it. I said almost.
How about that Titanic song?
Making jokes about a 1997 Celine Dion hit in 2004. I look forward to all the return of the Mac jokes that are sure to come later. Why does this one area of the ocean have so many goddamn magazine options? Oscar was able to afford a penthouse apartment after people believed he killed one shark? Quint got either $10,000 or $13,000, depending on how you read that scene in Jaws, for killing a shark. Even with inflation, that means Oscar still probably didn't clear much more than $45,000. That's not nothing, but it's also not owning a penthouse kind of money. Also, what story could Oscar have told to make anyone believe he had killed a shark? Movie cheats by only showing him tell part of the story. And furthermore, that anchor Lenny snapped the chain off of couldn't have gone too far. Bernie and Ernie should have seen that when they saw Oscar with the dead shark.
Pound that dog. Pound it.
I love Marty. I really do, but I never want to hear him say pound that dog ever again.
My grandmother's pearl.
Angie acts like this couldn't be a romantic gesture, but this severely unreliable character not only returned your family heirloom, but had it strung to a complete necklace. Sure, it's not a romantic gesture because of the story, but it sure as would be if the writer spent more time making the character's emotions realistic and less time worrying about the digital model of Times Square.
Now, I don't forget anything, and I never forget who my friends are.
But you seem to have forgotten how you almost screwed everything up by taking the $5,000 Angie was nice enough to loan you and betted on a 200-to-1 odds seahorse in a race. We are supposed to be rooting for Oscar, right?
Woo! Biceps, triceps.
Oscar is verbally flexing these muscles that fish do not physically have.
Y'all kids got some skills.
They sure do. They've invented spray paint that can create art underwater. They should be the rich assholes living in the penthouse.
And if, God forbid, someone should, I don't know, find out the truth about the shark's lair on my way back.
Movie acts like this is just a threat to expose Oscar, but since the other fish are so scared of sharks that they are probably not going to stop and chat with Lenny, this is actually a threat to tell the other sharks, who will in turn head to the reef for lunch and encounter the fish who are now bolstered by their overconfidence in the shark's lair and no longer hiding. Long story short, all the fish are eaten in a violent bloodbath. That was the threat made by our lovable Lenny.
Now batting for the Southside Sharks, number 15.
Sharks have a baseball league? How does a ball travel very far through water? How do the sharks hold the bats? Why did anyone think a new Firestarter movie was a good idea? I have so many questions.
Hey, a bed!
Some more bullshit where not only does a shark need a bed, but a shark-sized bed is also available.
I'm a vegetarian.
But he's not. Earlier he told his brother he would eat the fish after it died, but he wouldn't kill them. That's not the same as only eating vegetables.
What's with the we? I don't want any part of this.
Jack Black's comments after reading the script and before the studio added another 0 to his paycheck somehow make their way into this movie. I would like to pause for a moment during this dramatic fall to remind you that this is all taking place underwater.
And you tell Don Lame-O that I don't never want to see another shark on this reef again.
This works, at least for longer than it should. In an attempt to ride on the coattails of a far better Will Smith vehicle, movie has the crowd start chanting, "Oscar, kill him," with nothing more than the assumption that modern media has overloaded our children's frontal cortex to the point where they no longer have curious thoughts or the ability to pursue such a thought long enough to search the interwebs. Get your roll credits here, hot off the presses, roll credits here.
You ain't know I had it in me, did you? It was like an Oscar explosion.
Foreshadowing.
What has gotten into you?
Me?
20,000 Leagues Under the Skip.
Hey, come on. It'll be okay.
I mean, it will, because the movie gods determined it has to, but even though Oscar will eventually realize the error of his ways and admit his falsehoods, along with the convenient realization that he has always loved Angie as well, I will still never understand why Angie doesn't kick his sorry ass back to the ocean. But DreamWorks has to Disney, I guess. The Whale Wash has a sign that says Whale Wash right next to the wash itself, which also has Whale Wash in large letters at the top of the building. One piece of signage in that area would have done the trick. This is why Sykes never has any money. He doesn't know how to manage his overhead. Shark Tale perpetuates the myth that anyone likes caviar, because it's not true. No one actually likes caviar.
You can't handle the truth. You got shark breath.
When was this ad even put together? The fight was earlier that day. Right after the fight, did someone from the Mints company just happen to be there and get a shot of Oscar popping a mint real quick? If Shark Tale wants to correctly parody American advertising, right next to this Coral Cola ad should be another ad for Pepsi. Not a chance, movie. I refuse to search whether or not fish get hemorrhoids.
Ha! Young love.
Mistaking domestic abuse for young love. Thinking balloons and a box of generic chocolate will make up for being a total ass. And Oscar already knows that she loves Kelpie cream more than anything, so why isn't he at least making a stop there instead of this bullshit? Oscar. Did the tuna in this film need a history of persecution? Probably not, but the need to make references for reference's sake was clearly weighted more heavily in most of the decision-making for this film, no matter how distasteful the joke.
I gotta find Angie. I need to tell her I love her.
No one will be seated during the will they or won't they portion of the film.
Whale wash rhymes with gosh.
Give me that. Get out of here, both of you. Go be useless someplace else, will you?
Sykes hangs up the phone instead of seeing if he could help the customer.
Lenny?
Sykes just realizes that the obviously painted shark that's been working at his whale wash for some time now is an obviously painted shark. This works, at least for longer than it should.
Well, I say he's bluffing.
There's no way that Lola is working with Don Lino now, except no one who has ever seen a movie.
Sebastian, take her out.
Sebastian acts more like a shark than a dolphin, but no one notices.
Good meeting. We gotta go.
Oh, and one more thing.
Instead of listening to Sykes when the situation needs it, our hero chooses to create forced tension by refusing to remember the lessons he's learned, even just a few minutes after he's learned them. Swiping someone else's regurgitated license plate without their consent.
Lenny? What are you doing in there?
You know, without friends like Lenny and Angie rushing into harm's way, it would be really hard to root for Oscar. I know it gets murky, but he's in fact our protagonist.
Where's Lino?
Lino will come up behind Oscar, even though he was originally in front of him, and about to be trapped by the whale wash devices. I guess Don Lino has developed the movie tradition of convenient teleportation. It's also known as the Jason X.
So your son likes kelp. So his best friend's a fish. So he likes to dress like a dolphin.
Writers forgot that Lenny was dressed as a dolphin because he was hiding and not because he wanted to.
We cool, right? I mean, like the reef is safe.
Yeah. We're cool.
Yeah, I get that he's not angry anymore, but sharks are still at the top of this food chain, and they're going to get hungry again, right?
You've lost everything you lied so hard to achieve.
With the exception of all that money he made from the advertisements. Maybe he can't live in the penthouse anymore, but he's not exactly broke.
Yo, dog!
The interesting choice to end your movie with Martin Scorsese appropriating pimp culture. We won't play the song, but everyone is singing about working at a car wash when they are clearly working at a whale wash.
You think this is funny? What am I, a clown to you?
Also, the movie is trying to pass off graffiti as detailing. You can't fool me twice.
I'm Katie Current.
Tuna Turner! Muscle Crow! Jessica Shrimpson! Todd Stewart!
Inner Reef 95.
Scallop Cold.
Kelpie creams.
Who's your pup daddy?
Are you not entertained? You can't handle the truth. You had me at hello. Yippee-ki-yay!
It slays hemorrhoids like Oscar slays sharks.
Lady, you're looking at a man who can catch a whale with a toothpick. You kidding me? We're going fishing.
Mom's not here.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Lenny, look at me.
I am looking at you. Now look at me the way I'm looking at you.
Who could have done this?
Don Lino.
One more thing. The next time you see Mrs. O'Connor, will you tell her something for me? My nephew won 2 prizes the other day. Second prize for a needlepoint contest. First prize for weightlifting.
You mean you?
Yeah.
When the anchor?
Liar, liar. Pants on fire.
Indigestion.
There's all kinds of gas. It's gonna.
Becky, your new apartment. It's
Awesome. Wow.
Oh, hey there, young fella. Bringing me good news today?